Blah, 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 blah.
Ladies, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, PC Master Race of all ages, welcome to the Season 1 finale of the one and only PC Hardware and Game of Thrones podcast, broadcasting live from Chicago every single Tuesday night at 10:30 p.m. Central United States of America time. I am your co-host Simon the Diamond, and with me, 15 miles away in Chicago, in the great state of Illinois, Charlie Charmander Binks Wilson. Charlie, how are you, sir? Your screen is super blurry, but it looks cool that way.
It's really blurry. I don't know. I don't know. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Well, while you fiddle around with that, that's looking better. See if rub the screen. All right, you're rubbing the screen. That's not working. Some webcams have a little knob to focus it, but right before the show, folks, Charlie was killing some wild insects attacking him, and things kind of get destroyed. You end up destroying more of your hardware and your setup when trying to kill a stupid little bug. But in the meantime, Charlie, I'm going to talk about the beer of the week, or actually the liquor of the week. I've got a seasonal collection, Blue Moon Agave Nectar Ale. This is a interesting variation on the Blue Moon. I don't know much else, but I'm going to open it live on the air. Listen to this. Listen to this. Ooh, you probably didn't hear that much. You probably just heard a bump. But I'm going to pour it live on the air, too. Listen, folks. Ooh, you probably don't hear that much either. I don't really care, but I'm going to do it anyways because I need to drink it. Ooh, I just spilled some on the floor. It's hard doing this when you're trying to do it on the camera. All right, folks. So I got my Agave Nectar Ale. Charlie, what are you drinking on, sir?
Bud Light.
Bud Light. And speaking of drinks that you can get for 25 cents on sports nights, what sporting event happened this week in Chicago that would commemorate such a drink today?
For those who don't know, Blackhawks took it in 6. It's huge. Did you see the game?
Nice. I did not, believe it or not. I'm a terrible Chicagoan, but I'm very, very happy to hear that great news.
It was insane because the Hawks were down 2-1 with a minute and 15 seconds left, and then they tied it up, and then 17 seconds later they scored a third goal, won 3-2. It was 17 seconds in the last minute and a half. It was insane. I mean, I know you're not a big sports guy, but wow, holy shit!
No, anyone can appreciate that type of hunger and intensity in that short of a time frame, man. That's pretty awesome. And is that pretty unheard of to get two goals in under a minute in hockey?
I've seen, I think, 3 goals in 30 or 40 seconds, but it wasn't like a finals game for the championship or anything like that. It was just some random seasonal game. But I have seen it, and hockey's exciting like that. In that there's no scoring forever, and then all of a sudden, bam, bam, bam. So, but yeah, it was pretty intense. God, stupid.
Yeah. The foot massager strikes again.
I gotta fix that piece of shit or throw it out. Seriously.
It's okay. People who know the Ironhammers Overclocked canon will appreciate every time they hear that. Someone should put a wiki page together for us and involve Charlie's foot massager as a character in the canon of Overclocked. But other than that, man, that's great, man. Sports, really, really great thing. A great moment to live in Chicago. Once again, it is very hot. I will probably sweat through this white shirt by the end of the show. Once again, one of the many benefits of watching the show live, apart from seeing our amazingly striking faces here. Charlie, just because we're on the topic of television, Game of Thrones is over, Dexter, Breaking Bad, all that stuff starts, in a few months. I don't think you watched True Blood, but that started up again. If you like, blood, vampires, near something a little more pornographic than Game of Thrones and funny yet serious topics, True Blood's a pretty cool show. It's getting a little over the top.
Dexter's actually next Sunday. That will be the first show of the last season. I've seen some trailers. It looks decent. I admit my love of Dexter kind of faded over time, but I think this last season's going to be good. I think they're going to pull out all the stops, so I'm excited.
Wow, man, I didn't know that started that soon. I think Breaking Bad is the one that starts in July, right?
I can look it up.
August. Okay.
I can look it up.
Cool. Check that out. But folks, once again, man, this is the end of season 1 of Ironhammers Overclocked. We're going to start up again first week of August. Let me see. That will be we're projecting August 6th. That's a Tuesday, so that gives us about the July to take a break and regroup and improve on the show, of course. But by that time, Charlie, will be knee deep in a few episodes of both shows. And we may have to devote like the last 20 minutes of the show to these shows. It's going to be great. But did you find a date on Breaking Bad, sir?
Yeah, August 11th. So
okay, cool. So we'll be halfway through Dexter, and then we could talk about some Breaking Bad. Cool. Let's take a look. So, folks. Sorry, it's hot and this beer is feeling nice, man. And it's the last episode. I'm trying to cram so much into it. Let's make a long story short, folks. Okay, we're gonna finalize the discussion on our $900 builds from last week. We're going to add. We're going to throw an addendum out to that, right? An annex to that discussion. And then we're also going to just discuss a few things we've been playing this last week. While not much, there are things worth discussing. And the last thing, Charlie, before we talk business, is there anything in your life that you would like our thousands, nay, millions of fans to divulge this wonderful evening? Things that happen in your life that are not gaming related, not TV related, not personal computer related, just about you, sir. Because this is the last time people are going to hear your voice for a few weeks.
Well, the big story for me last week was my sister getting married. For those that don't know, which is probably all of you, hopefully. I live with my parents and my sister, and she just moved out. And it was pretty crazy. I admit having her noise and her mess gone kind of exposes how much I need to get my ass in gear, because it's like dead quiet here now and like empty, and it's just like, wow. Gotta get some going. But dude, the wedding, I mean, you're sitting there sweating your balls off in your white shirt. For us, we were in the church, and the church was not air conditioned. Holy cow. So I was in a full suit, and we'd go from in and out of the church to take pictures in the sun and the humidity, and it was terrible. And they promised us the night before they'd have air conditioning, and they didn't. And, oh, my God. And on the stage, they got, like lights on there. I don't know how some of the bridal party made it through. I had to go up for a few because I was in the bridal party also, but I wasn't like a best man or anything like that. But it was hardcore. Other than that, there was a lot of Bud Light on the beer, just to emphasize how much Bud Light pretty much is the default beer of America. You'll probably see pictures on Facebook with the party bus and all the cans of Bud Light. Good times, good times. Other than that, seeing relatives I haven't spoken to in a decade, and yeah, with my sister gone, she's been gone like a day or two. I have lost 5 pounds. I don't know how that works.
So what's the correlation there? What's the?
I don't know. I have no idea. But I was 222 before the wedding, 222 after, and then 217 this morning. So
okay. The wedding, you're supposed to pack on pounds, and then the stress, the overwhelming stress of your sister no longer being around should make you gain weight. from just eating from stress. So I don't understand. So you've done the impossible.
I have no idea. We ate like kings for Friday and Saturday, and even on Sunday we were doing pizza and leftover cake. So I don't know. There was some running and some fitness in there, but 5 pounds worth probably not.
Well, first of all, congratulations to your sister. Congratulations to you for being involved in the bridal party of such a prestigious event. And I will say, just on that note, and I'm not saying this to solicit any kind words or congratulatory ones, but it was my birthday Thursday, in which we discussed,
we had celebrated the weekend before, so I kind of put it on my mind, but I did know that. I knew that.
Yeah. Oh, and like I said, we talked about it the last show, And first of all, before I continue, shout out to our buddy Elvis that just joined the chat room, a coworker of ours who talks a whole lot of tech stuff with us. But what was I going to say? So for the whole week of my birthday, my wonderful girlfriend, my family, everyone has decided that they all know that I love pizza more than anything in the world. And because of that, I ate so much damn pizza last week. So I think I'm the opposite, man. I think on my birthday week, I don't know, but I've been sweating so much this week that I think it evened out. Maybe that's why you lost some weight. Did you kill it?
Yeah, there's another one on my bed, though, so that'll make 2 down and at least 1 to go.
Charlie's killed 2 flies in the duration of our season finale. Anyways, but yeah, pizza, sweating, no air conditioning. Such is life of a celebrity, Charlie. But
oh my God, the shower at the end of that night was so good. I mean, it was like a nice hotel, and I had this sweat caked on from over 24 hours. It was the best shower ever.
It was a hotel. It was a hotel shower or at home?
It was at the hotel. It was actually like connected to the the wedding hall reception place. So that was pretty convenient.
Hotel showers are really nice, even if it's a crappy motel. There's something about being in a foreign place and cleansing yourself of the day's sins.
Being naked in a place other than home.
Yeah, maybe I'm just a creep. Maybe I just like to be naked in foreign places. Maybe I'm just a born gigolo, Charlie? You know what I mean.
I think I know what you mean.
So before we move on to our topic and wrap up the season 1 of the greatest show ever to be aired on the internet, you didn't play many games. I didn't play many games. But what did you play?
I turned on Borderlands, and it set the settings automatically as low as they go. Like, I'm talking, I think it was 600 by 480 or something silly like that, and everything on low. It was kind of interesting. But it's kind of fun whenever you do, I'm sure you've done it, where you play like an old school game and it doesn't recognize your video card. So it just automatically defaults to low.
I think we were talking about that a few episodes where it's like a few episodes ago where there's just some games you don't want to play anymore because the resolution or it just looks so stretched and gross.
At least Borderlands actually did scale up to 1080, but
nice. Yeah. So I just bought Fear Part 1. Have you ever played that classic FPS?
I have heard good things, and as we go on, I'll show you my my groom's gift, pair of Ray-Bans. There's plenty of Ray-Ban wedding pictures. Look at that.
Ooh, those are, as someone in the optical industry, I can tell you those are like $150, $200.
Yeah, it's probably at least 100. Nice. Probably not the 200 end, but yeah, pretty sweet.
Very cool. Classic Wayfarers for those of you not watching. Very nice. Now I can see the reflection of the porno in the screen. So, anyway, so I just bought Fear on Steam. It was $2.50 yesterday. I never played it. Community member Fodder, who submitted a community rig of the week a while back, posted something, and I'd like to read. He said on my Steam account, he said, "This game is one of a very few that truly scared me. Brilliant game and much better than the silly Call of Duty-esque sequels." Now, I played Fear 2 back when it came out on the 360, and that was my first Fear experience. And I did feel like, hey, this is like Modern Warfare, just spookier. And so for everything I hear is that this is just not that. It's an immersive game, and for a game that came out around 2004, 2005, this game was like 12 gigs, man. So it's and it has 2 DLC packs with it. So I think it's going to be a very good time, man. I'm excited.
I did hear good things about Fear 1 and bad things about Fear 2. I didn't know there was more than that. I didn't know what the negative press was about the sequels, but yeah. You're saying they took the horror out?
Yeah, I think it just became more of a just a first-person shooter. But let's check it out. Let's check it out. So for me, Charlie, I didn't play much either. I pretty much, for one of my good friends, got me a $25 Visa gift card. So instantly, I just put it in Steam, into my Steam wallet, and I purchased Dead Island, the Game of the Year edition, and I played it with my brother, and that was fun. It was fun to play that game multiplayer the way it's meant to be played, and I played that about 6 hours till about 5 in the morning. Fun time. Really good game. I bought Scribblenauts Unlimited, which I played the first Scribblenauts game on the Nintendo DS back in the day, but this was a fun game a stupid little whimsical game to go in and type, huge guy, and the huge guy appears, or type cute kitty cat, and the cute kitty cat appears, and I don't know, have you ever played any of the Scribblenauts games, Charlie, or are you wondering what the hell I'm talking about?
I never even heard of them, dude.
Imagine Super Mario Bros. No, forget that. I'm gonna hit you with the hardest throwback slap of your life. Imagine the Lost Vikings. Remember that?
I remember reading about them in magazines. I never actually played them, though. I know they're like a puzzle game, right?
Yeah. Okay, so it's a 2D hand-drawn puzzle game where it started on the Nintendo DS, all right? It was more of a novelty. And it'll be like, hey, get this cat out of a tree. So you open your keyboard and you type ladder, and a ladder appears, and you can climb up a ladder and save the cat. Another part will say, make this plant grow. So you type the word seeds, and then the seeds appear, and you make them grow. But then this game, they got crazy. They added adjectives, and the Wii U version, I think, added like Mario characters and stuff. So you could literally type invisible monster, and a somewhat invisible monster will appear. I tried. The reason I'm bringing this game up, Charlie, is I spent about half an hour typing nothing but obscenities and racial slurs, and nothing came up. I was kind of sad, but I know it's meant for kids, But I did type gun, and gun still appears, and I think I tried typing drugs and stuff like that. Some of the things didn't show up. But Scribblenauts Unlimited was $7.50. I bought it. And then finally, Charlie, I bought Surgeon Simulator 2013, now featuring the Heavy and the medic from Team Fortress 2. Now, I never heard of this game until I bought it. Now, have you seen screenshots of this game or video, Charlie?
Oh, I've seen the clips for Team Fortress 2 with the medic. It's pretty funny stuff if you haven't seen any of the Team Fortress clips. I haven't seen anything of the game you're talking about, though.
Now, when I first saw it, I thought it was actually that. I thought it was a surgeon simulator. But it turns out that I think the original version of this game, there was a contest, like these guys had 48 hours to make a game. And they made the basic version of it. But here's the thing. It's a surgeon simulator, but it's like a person's body has like 5 pieces in it, and it'll be like the mouse controls the hand, and then each key controls a finger, and you can adjust the hand, everything like that. It's very, 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 very detailed, but the novelty of the game. First of all, it's a humor game. It's not a serious title at all by any means. It's a comedy game.
I would figure.
Yeah, and for example, the very first level is perform a heart transplant. And to perform a heart transplant, you pretty much need to destroy the guy's ribs, and you can just throw them. Like, you can take the ribs and just throw them across the room, and then you cut out his lungs, cut out his liver, rip his heart out. I mean, obviously you have to cut it a certain way so he doesn't lose too much blood. There is some challenge to it. And once you cut his heart out, you open a box, and you drop the heart in anywhere, and it says, that should be fine, you win. and it's just, it's really funny, but what makes it great is the controls are meant to be so unruly and terrible that you reach over to get your scalpel and you knock down a cup of coffee, and it's really fun, man. I mean, you could get the game for $10, and now it has Team Fortress things in it. It's a really good time. I cracked up playing it, and that was pretty fun. I went through my humble indie bundle library from the past bundles, and I realized I hadn't redeemed all my games, so I threw some keys your way. Did you have a chance to... probably not, right? You didn't have a chance to install, like, Super Meat Boy?
No, I'm sure it'd probably download in, like, half hour or 15 minutes, but I've been distracted. What can I tell you?
No, that's totally okay. That's totally okay. Super Meat Boy is one of the hardest games ever made, but in an intuitive way. So I'd love to hear your reaction when you first play it.
I've heard exactly that. I've heard it's a fun yet very, very challenging game that will tear your pubics off and such.
Yeah, it'll tear the curly hairs right off your body. But so enough of that. None of us have played much. By the way, those RayBans look pretty damn cool, man.
I love them.
So it's gonna be a short one today, guys. Before we move on to the final topic of the night. Oh wait. By the way, we do have a recurring segment this week, What Not to Play. There is one game. By all means, stay away from it. That game, Charlie, I don't have a drum roll, but would you like to announce what game that is this week on Ironhammers Overclocked number 12?
This week, on Games Not to Play, we've got... Hold on, I can't read it. Candy Crush Saga. Oh my god. I've played it, so you don't have to. I've lost Facebook friends so that you may keep yours.
Dude, that's a great... You are a martyr. You are a martyr for all gamers. Oh my god, man. God, man. So let's see. That's enough of that. Enough of that. Last week we discussed a night. You guys have to get them. You guys got to download the video for this. This is Charlie with the sunglasses is just awesome. I got to take some screen caps of this later. So last week, Charlie, we discussed, and this is the last segment of the show, folks. So I do apologize. And after this, we'll talk about a little preview of season 2. But last week we discussed a $900 build. I'm sorry, under $900 build that each of us put together, a virtual machine, in which it would compete with and exceed the performance of the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. And just to reiterate, anyone listening to the show is a PC gamer, and you can say, any computer will beat PS4 and Xbox One. The point is that on launch day, if someone wants one of those systems, you could build this for under $900 and say, you know what? This is better, and this is going to be better for the next several years. Now, Charlie, one thing I didn't even realize is that both of us put together Amd Builds. Actually, I did realize that. We discussed it on the show, but I didn't point it out. So we both put together Amd Builds. We stuck around the the FX series. I did the 6100. You did, I think, the 8300. Was it?
I don't remember. I want to say
something
8350.
Like that. Something like that. Yeah, we both did the FX series, right? And then good friend Jarett has submitted an Intel build. And would you like to read the email, Charlie, or shall I?
I've got the build out here. I can do that. We'll take it one at a time. He's got the 922M for the case, the Cooler Master Half 922M. in typical Tiger Direct fashion. Again, that was a builder favorite. In the store.
Actually, hold on just a second. Scroll down a little bit more. That's actually, you're looking at my build from last week, and that's my fault for still. That's my fault for still leaving it up there. That's my fault, guys. Google Docs, you know my pain. That's my fault for leaving it on for my own reference. But no, we've got Jared's there, and he says, since you guys didn't put together an Intel build, I did one for you with the latest chip for $909. All right, Charlie. So there's the. Okay. You can start at the case too if you want to scroll down.
I mean, instead of the builder favorite case number 1, he went with builder case number 2, the Thermaltake V3, which is, I believe, the one I went with, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Again, it's a pretty just simple classic case. If you're keeping it cheap, you know, it's not gonna be like, ew, what the fuck is that? You know.
I hope not.
Basic case, kind of small, fine. With the motherboard, again, I couldn't tell you what it is, but he's got an Asus 1150. I mean, Asus. I usually figure Asus or Gigabyte. I went Gigabyte with my build. That I use only because it had the USB 3.0 before everyone else. It was just a matter of timing. But yeah, I mean, as for actually recommending like an actual like model of motherboard, I don't think you can really do that. I mean, it's just, you know, the model of the month, just it's constantly rotating. But he's got the 1150 in there.
Right, and I should mention he's got a micro ATX board. I've come to feel, Charlie, that I think we discussed this several episodes ago. Most people aren't going for the SLI or quad SLI anymore. They just need the one video card, and he's got the micro ATX, so that's just going to be the most likely the single PCI X16 slot. I don't know if it's PCI 3.0. I'll have to research that. But actually, why don't we just click the link and research it right now?
Micro Center. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Micro Center is great, man. I really go. I think we need to go there and film like a segment for the show, and take a look. So okay, I'm looking at it now. It's the Asus H87M, and let me take a look at the specs here. I want to see what exactly it's got. So it does support up to 32 gigs, which is great. It's almost a necessity at this point. USB 3.0 headers, of course, and it does have one. Okay, it has one PCI Express 3.0 slot and a 2.0 slot. So he does have still 2 slots in case he wants to get crazy with some SL. I'm assuming since it's Intel, it would have to be SLI, not Crossfire.
Right.
But okay, so that's that for the motherboard. What do you think of the processor? Let the folks know what that is there.
What are we, the i5 4670K? I believe that's a 4th generation guy right there. I haven't seen the latest benchmarks on the Intel versus AMD latest gen stuff. I assume at $200 it will probably compete with AMD at that price point. But have you got the link up? Is it quad? Is it 6?
Yeah.
Is it 8 core?
It's a quad core, stock at 3.4 gigahertz, turbo at 3.8. I don't now. Let me be straight up. Being an AMD guy, I have not researched which models will have hyper-threading, if at all. I don't think this has hyper-threading. I think it just has the turbo boost up to 3.8. So I think this will stay a very powerful quad core. But that is a quad core, a raw quad core.
I think I packed an 8 core at 3.8. So again, I'm not savvy as to how much performance you'd gain over the hyper-threading, but I think I like my processor better.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like yours, but this is still good for a 4th gen i5 quad core at $199. That's not bad. I'm happy with that price. What do you think of the video card, sir?
Video card. I'm glad he went with NVIDIA there. Just again to contrast our AMD build. He's got the 670. Of course, he put all his money there at $364. I believe that's about on par with what I put in with the 7950, and you did too. I don't know if he's getting 4 awesome games with that, but
now he does have a 2 gig as opposed to our 3 gig card. Now, obviously, it's not going to be a life or death, but I still like getting that extra gig on the video card to let the processor sweat a little bit less.
For sure.
Because we both, yeah.
It does. It has bigger advantages in some games versus others, but I think especially with like depth, like your field of sight, how far you can see. But yeah, still you get your physics with the NVIDIA stuff. Something again I haven't really looked at, but it's a nice way to use that second slot without having to go SLI. So you like. If you already have an NVIDIA card, you use the old NVIDIA card with a brand new one. With the motherboard, we didn't really talk about that. I don't think I could fit all my pieces in there, like of my personal build, because you got your sound card, which I'm sure he doesn't have in there because you can't afford to put one in there at a price point, but the expandability option isn't there. I believe I have something else in the PCI Express. I forget. I think my wireless card is actually not PCI Express though.
Let me see.
And of course, my sound card has 2 boards to it as well.
Looking at this motherboard, it seems like that 670 may be hovering over both PCI Express slots. If I'm just taking a look at this image, but you're right. Okay. So the expandability may not be there. Let me see. So he's got 8 gigs of Corsair Vengeance. I think you picked the Vengeance, right? Actually, I think we both picked Vengeance.
I think we both picked the Vengeance, and I mentioned the G skill, Rip Jaws in passing. But yeah, I mean the Corsair Vengeance stuff. It's like again. A Tiger Direct default, since we really didn't have much of the other brands. With the power supply, he went with the Corsair at 600 watts. I'm not sure which line he went. God damn it! He literally got in between the keys. Oh my god! But $70. That's what? Who?
What got between the keys?
The third fly. It's son of a bitch.
Oh, good. There's a third fly?
Apparently.
Jesus.
I know, right? So
he's got a 600 watt.
I mean, 600 watt, that's where I would aim for a home build. I mean, that's just... I haven't seen any graphics cards that would push 600, and I think even most modern SLI and Crossfires will be okay at 600 watts. It's still $70 seems a bit high.
Yeah, let me see. And then finally, the hard drive. Easy. So he chose the Western Digital Blue. Let me see if this is even SATA 6. The blues are very reliable, but I know in the past the black was the only one with SATA 6, but I think they've changed that. Okay, yeah. So the Western Digital Blue is still 7,200 rotations per minute. 16 meg cache, a little less than the 64 gig on the black, and it's 6 gigs per second. So that is SATA 3. So that is good. Good stuff. Once again, you can't really put a solid state drive at this price. You don't really need it. And then and then for the operating system, Debian Linux. It's free. He exclaims.
I admit, I don't know that much about gaming with Linux. I just know you need like wrapper classes around a lot of your classes for Windows compatibility. Do you know anybody running a Linux gaming computer?
I'm pretty sure that the head of Ironhammers, Bobby Gooding, is doing Linux. I know we discussed because you could download Steam on Linux, and some of the games will actually show Linux compatibility and whatnot, and the Steam library is growing exponentially. I know Bobby Gooding and a lot of the Ironhammers community are down with the Linux OS. I have no knowledge whatsoever. I threw a Ubuntu on a flash drive once onto my netbook, and said, "Wow, this is pretty cool that I could boot from a flash drive," and then I didn't figure out anything else but the browser. and hopefully I will revisit that one day.
You do need a little bit of command line expertise to really take advantage of an Ubuntu desktop, which I do have, or I did have way back in the day, but not so much anymore. I mean, right now at work, I am pure Microsoft everything. It's as impressive as it is frustrating. So, I don't know. I know that if I were to go to my former library that I was at during college, they actually do use a Linux server, but I couldn't compare and contrast them at all. So, there you go. There you go. So, what do you think? Honestly, I couldn't say without running the actual machine side by side, except I hate that Linux bit because I know that's for advanced users only.
Well, I think I'd be happy to have this machine just as much as ours. I think that looks great. My biggest hesitation with Intel builds is that the processor and the motherboard you'd already be at like $600, but that's a great price for. I mean, $120 for a 1150 motherboard is pretty damn good, and the 4th Gen i5. I think that's a really great deal. I did not expect that price, from Intel. So that's pretty good. I'm happy to see that. So I'd be happy to have that one. I know more about AMD and its compatibility and its drivers, so I am inclined to stick with AMD, but at this price point, it'd be worth checking out the Intel build for sure. But I think. Did you kill it?
I don't think so.
The title of this episode is gonna have something to do with you. What was the? I don't know. I something with Charlie and Fly Hunter or something like that. Anyways, so Charlie, I never really put a poll out to see what people thought about our machines, like which one's better, because in the end they were pretty similar. Our machines were pretty similar, but and I put it out in the community to let us know what they thought AMD or Intel was better. I didn't really get much of a feedback on that. Probably doesn't help that I put it in 24 hours before the show aired, but. Let me just say this. I think that we have learned a lot about the upcoming console generation over E3. I think by the time Season 2 starts and we come back, we'll know a little bit more. But by then, we'll know a little bit more architecture and the new AMD and Intel chips. I think we'll know about potentially the 8000 series and the 700 series, a little more. And I think we can have a little more informed discussions on the future of the 9th generation of gaming as it happens this fall. But Charlie, all I will say, let me ask you, is there one thing that you'd like to promise our listeners for Season 2 of Ironhammers Overclocked premiering this fall?
I'd say I promise to put a little more time into our pregame. I think we've come into quite a few shows a bit cold. And, it's fun, but we'll take it up to the next level. At least for my part, I will. I know when we first started, I brought the specs to the table and kind of just spit them all out, especially with our sound card, which I continue to love. I haven't been getting my creative, checks in at all. So, but yeah, I think we'll do perhaps a little bit more of that and. Hopefully there'll be enough there to cover my tenacious researching and Googling and such. I'll probably try to get a little bit more on the social media and Twittering, and maybe I'll do more Facebooking. I don't know.
Yeah, don't worry about any of that. Twitter is a lost cause, I'm convinced, because if you follow 1,000 people, then when I post something, within 1 second, it could be completely wiped out and you'll never see it again. So, yes, you can follow certain people so that they're highlighted a certain way, but Twitter is a lost cause to me. In terms of marketing and advertising, it's so full of spam and so full of porn bots and stuff. We've got the Ironhammers Facebook page. I like to go on there, leave a funny little quip or two, And if people read it, if people want to see the show after that, then that's perfectly fine. That's a little more acceptable, and at least we have a smaller circle of folks that actually dig the show and dig the site and everything. But so in terms of scheduling, in terms of frequency of the shows, in terms of segments and everything, we will put details up coming soon, because obviously now we've got Ironhammers on air coming back this Thursday, and to broadcast in tandem with them. I don't know if we'll have alternating weeks or what, but if we have any changes to the formula, we'll let you guys know. But the show will be it won't be clean, it won't be sharp, or it won't be professional, because that's the point of this show. Ironhammers on air is the professional, clean show. We are the two American guys that are tired and sweaty and don't really know much about what we're talking about. Well, we know kind of what we're talking about. And then Charlie's got the RayBans now. Charlie, for the first 6 episodes, I wore sunglasses every episode, and they started to get so hot, as you know, that you get fogged up, and so I'll start wearing them. I'll start wearing them and whatnot. But so, guys, kind of anticlimactic season finale, but you know what I'm gonna do? Let me go on Steam here, see if there's any last minute stuff. So here, Charlie, let's finish it off this way. All right? This is the best way to finish the show, I think.
Finish him.
I want you to tell people one book, one show, and one game that they need to experience before we go back on the air.
Well, obviously, book-wise, I recommend trying the Game of Thrones. It is a very wordy bunch of books, and there are so many names, and there's just so much backstory and retelling of the same event from different eyes. But we talked about the show plenty, and I'm astounded that the show is as popular as it is with so much missing, but it really is it's awesome, and I enjoy comparing and contrasting the show with the book, because they're just so different, but at the same time so good at what they each do. Though I think there's just way too much gayness in the show that was not in the books. I don't know why they did that. I mean, it was all very subtle in the books, and in the show, here's a penis. Oh, Theon's penis is gone, and it's in a box.
Or is it?
It was very implied stuff and subtle, and I guess you can't do that on the show. So those would be my books. As far as a game to play, well, the one we probably hit in the prime of our starting was Bioshock Infinite. And I actually would not recommend that as much as the original. If you haven't played the original Bioshock, you can probably find it for $5, $10 on Steam. So I'd recommend doing that. And the sequel even is kind of not as bad as sequels tend to be. So I'll go with the original Bioshock and perhaps lead it up into Bioshock Infinite. That will probably be cheaper by then. I don't know if that's a must-play, but there you go. And what's the last one? A show? Movie? What?
Yeah, either or.
Well, show, obviously. I'd say our Game of Thrones. If you want to watch our show comprehensively and be amongst us, to be one of us, to understand us, I think you got to watch Game of Thrones. And, of course, you got Breaking Bad coming out, and Dexter. Those are our shows. You're about the Mad Men, which I followed for a little bit but then stopped. I know people were expecting people to die or something like that. I mean, don't tell me what happened because I didn't watch it. And I've heard good things about True Blood. Maybe that'll be my next show that I watch way after the fact and watch 3 seasons in a row.
Yeah.
I think that's a good collection of shows for people to watch, for all you lazy couch potatoes. Yeah. I also say, I know I pitched my Charmander Binks website that I said I'd get out eventually, and I still haven't. I think by next week, or not next week, but by, in a month, there'll be something on there. It'll mostly be entertainment. I don't know if it'll be very game-related, but it will be funny, probably very scripted-ish, very, stand-up comedian, except sitting in front of a webcam-ish.
Nice.
And maybe I'll even throw some programming on there because that's probably what I'm going to be doing. I'll probably be programming and job searching.
Oh, that.
The end.
Yeah, I will do the I think I'm going to do the latter as well. It's been one of those months.
Oh no!
But I'll
What happened to glasses? Or would you not want to say?
I won't say, but you know what? Let's just say that you need to love every moment of your day should be something that you love and admire doing. Every moment. And when that starts to kind of fade, you wanna make sure you're doing something that you are like, hey, this is something that I can put 110% into. And sometimes that doesn't stay consistent, but
was that like a 30-year-old revelation?
No, it was just once again, when you sweat and you're this hot, you start to think about, things frustrate you more easily. But it might be a 30-year-old revelation. I don't know. But so for me, book-wise, all of the Dan Brown books, okay? And a lot of people heard a lot of flack about the Da Vinci Code and Angels, Demons, and stuff like that. You don't have to read those. But read Inferno and maybe The Lost Symbol. But Inferno, I'm just about finished. I haven't even touched the last, 2 weeks because I've been so busy. But Dan Brown's Inferno, awesome book. Read it. That's that. Show-wise, like you said, do Mad Men because come this fall, I'm going to have more exquisite drinks every week. And I'm talking stuff with whiskeys and vodkas and stuff that they would drink on the show. So watch Mad Men so you can understand my drink references. And in terms of a game, I am going to play The Witcher, at least part 1 by the time we have the next show. I'm going to beat it because Witcher 3 was just announced and well, I know it was announced a while ago, but it was shown at E3. And so I really, really need to catch up now. So everyone go out there and play The Witcher 1 so that you can talk about it with me, and then we can both talk about it with Charlie.
It's a neat game and how many decisions there are and how it kind of affects who's sitting around and who's not sitting around and who's nice to you and who's bad to you. It was very, very unique in that respect. So, but I still, from my experience, just to pass on to you, there's a lot of going back and forth. Maybe don't stress the small stuff too much. And from what I understand, there is absolutely no carryover from saved games. So when you make your big decision with which faction you go with, or if you play the straight and narrow, don't stress it too much.
Oh,
I like playing old games like that because then you rush through the first one and you don't. You said you're like me in that you explore every nook and cranny, maybe even reset the game to see how different conversations play out. I'd say just go straight through it, enjoy what it's about, and get to that second game, which I have downloaded and not done anything else. There you go.
All right. That sounds good. For someone who just played it, I like to hear it that way. Cool. And then other than that, guys, so we'll let you know. So as far as I know, Ironhammers on air. I don't know what episode it is. It's going to be this Thursday, the return of the show. Bobby Gooding, potentially Hardly Dan, and we'll see. It'll be a smashing, amazing show. And then details on the return of our show will surface on ironhammers.org. It'll be sooner than later when you see our sexy visages once again. And we'll definitely, Charlie, we'll get together at some point, maybe film a video or something. We'll put that on the website for people who are going to miss us for the summer. But it's been great. It's been a fun 12 episodes. We've learned a lot. We've made a lot of mistakes. I've come up with a lot of great segments that have only lasted one episode.
We stuck with the what not to play though. That segment, I kept that bitch alive, and I think it's
yes, you did. Well. Yes, you did. I need a new segment. I think I like the segment. I like the weekly segment of new weekly segment every week. I think that's a great concept, and I think I'll keep it alive next time. And my resolution also is to get a headset that doesn't make me look like Princess Leia in A New Hope. Because, first of all, look at how I look without it, right? You know? Looks good, right? I'm a handsome guy, right? Then I put these things on, and they're freaking huge, man. I hate this. You know, I don't need this. No, yours are cool. Yours are like just cool little headphones. Mine are way too.
$20.
Yeah, this is
Sony.
That's pretty good, man. No, I need some small. I think I'm just gonna get some earbuds or something. But anyways, Charlie, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining me these 3 exciting months. And ladies and gentlemen, build your machines, mod your systems. If you have a machine that you've built or modified, send it to podcast@ironhammers.org. Send me some pictures, send me some specs. I'll put it on the website. If you got nude pics, send them to Charlie at tube8.com. And finally, ironhammers.org is the premier site to visit if you like PC gaming and if you like us and people like us. And finally, join the Facebook page, join the Steam page. Just go on, type Ironhammers, PC Gaming, and just click yes to everything. You know, just put your credit card number in there. I don't really care. Just do it. Just do it already, damn it. Charlie, the final word, sir, for the final episode of Season 1.
Oh, thanks for sticking with us. We, even from a technical aspect, had a lot to learn about the process, so thank you.
Yes, Google Hangout, by the way, has grown with our show, too. Like, when we first started doing it, Google Hangout was pretty new, and they've gone through a lot of evolution, so by the time we come back, maybe there'll be some tweaks and be a little fresher. Maybe we'll buy some new webcams and whatnot, so... So for Charlie Wilson and myself, Simon the Diamond, this has been Ironhammers Overclocked, episode 12. Thank you for joining, and we will see you in a few short weeks for Ironhammers Overclocked, season 2, episode 1. Have a wonderful week. For those of you in the States, have a wonderful 4th of July. And if it's in your birthday in the month of July, happy birthday. If it's not, too bad. Goodbye, folks. I love you. And please, someone, for the love of God, mail to Charlie at his house some bug spray. Goodbye.